Hi everyone and welcome to The Networks. I'm Gareth Spence. If you've been following the IT industry lately, you'll know that Network as a Service, or NaaS for short, is rapidly growing in momentum. For budget-constrained enterprises, it represents a compelling opportunity to do more with less. You can effectively scale your network on demand without any of the usual headaches. But as edge cloud technologies develop, are the underpinning architectures of NaaS services starting to change? To help me learn more about this, I'm joined by Brian van Voorhis from Adtran. Brian, anyone who knows you will recognize you as an edge cloud guy. So why are you here today to talk about
great,
NaaS?
Gareth. The connection between networking and cloud is growing very strong. As you know, I've been active in the edge cloud space, and what we see now is primarily one of the intersections between networking and cloud is occurring with what's happening on NaaS.
What are you seeing in regards to NaaS, though? Are the underpinnings shifting more to an edge cloud architecture than they were before?
They are, and we have to step back and look at what's driving that. Gartner and some of the other analysts talk about the digital transformation, and one of the elements of that are we're moving everything into public clouds, and we've been on this journey for a couple of years, and so moving applications and databases into the public clouds also means that the nature of networking changes completely. It needs to support much more automation because you want to ultimately hand more of the control of the networking to the end user. The nature of it has changed from making site-to-site connections to site-to-multi-cloud connections. And they also need to be more agile because you want that virtualized connecting capability anywhere around the globe, and you want it to be dynamic because you may not need that for a year or a 3-year contract period. You may need that virtualized connection for shorter periods of time, and all of that becomes enabled through NaaS.
Is this shift in architecture changing what enterprises are using NaaS for?
Well, it makes it much easier for them to be in the driver's seat on their virtualized networking functions. So as a user with NaaS, I can come in and I can select the type of connection I want, the location, and the length of time that I'd like it to be available to me. So, you know, whether that's a hub router, an SD-WAN gateway function, or a firewall, all of those are options I can come in and select through a NaaS offering.
What adoption figures are you seeing here with these services? Are they drastically increasing?
They are. So we're working with a number of providers who are rolling out NaaS services now. I think you've seen some announcements maybe with Sparkle, who's combining NaaS services with quantum safe encryption offerings. We also are working with a number of other global providers who are building out POPs at locations around the globe. And at these POPs, they're launching edge clouds, and those edge clouds are hosting virtualized networking services that they're exposing to their customers as NaaS offerings.
Is there any particular sector where you're seeing the most NaaS growth?
It's really across the board. In terms of the providers offering it, there's a lot of the carrier-neutral facilities have a number of players. And they themselves offer it. So companies like Equinix or Megaport, I'd mentioned Sparkle as an example, and there's a number of others who have made some announcements that we're in talks with. And so I think what we see is NaaS doesn't entirely replace more conventional networking, at least in the foreseeable future, but it becomes an increasingly important component offering in the portfolio. And the reason is that the IT professionals who are responsible for setting up these networks for their enterprises really prefer to work that way.
Looking longer term, Would you say that NaaS will replace traditional networking models, or will there always be this hybrid approach?
For the foreseeable, I think it's going to be a hybrid approach. But, the movement of applications into the public cloud has not stopped. In fact, public cloud spending continues to grow around 20% a year, and that's forecasted to continue. So that fundamental movement of applications, what Gartner calls the digital transformation, is going to continue to tilt the shift towards NaaS services just because of the advantages they provide into that multi-cloud environment.
And what about AI? It's such a hot topic right now. Is AI impacting NaaS?
It is, and there is a connection between AI and NaaS. First of all, the location where these edge clouds are being built for NaaS are also the precise location where you would want to position a cloud to provide AI services as well. And so the location is ideal for both virtualized networking NaaS services as well as AI applications. And so what really matters for the builders of these clouds today is that they're selecting hardware, they're selecting cloud infrastructure that's able to provide these the acceleration that these AI applications require. So, the term I use is that the clouds need to be AI ready. And, in our work with Ensemble Cloudlet, that's certainly been our focus.
How is the industry responding to Cloudlet? Is it growing in popularity?
It is. And, for a number of reasons, I think, our background has been more coming from the high volume, smaller clouds that are sitting in the on-prem locations. And so we're leveraging that now and extending the capability into the multi-node clouds that are typically being deployed in these carrier-neutral facilities, these POPs. And part of the attraction that I think that Cloudlet's bringing into that is the ease of deployment for the customers. And so that's really important because these locations tend to be in third-party facilities, and so being able to remotely deploy zero-touch turn up your entire multi-node cloud is critical. And then also we bring a large volume of experience, and so the scale that we've been working with makes it very easy for us to step in and from that same platform serve these network POPs.
Okay, that's everything from Brian. If you'd like to know more about NaaS or Edge Cloud services, please reach out on our social media channels. Thanks for listening.